Welcome to Let's Get Healthy with Bill Swale on the new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370. He's here to take your call at 390-1370. And now, here's Bill Swale.
And actually, Bill Swale is out this evening. I hope he's out doing something fun. I hope he's out having a good time. Bill is taking some well-deserved time off, and if you've listened to our show from time to time, you know that he is extremely well-deserved of that time. I'm Dr. Victor Karsrud, chiropractic internist and board-certified clinical nutritionist with People's Austin's favorite pharmacy. And today, covering for the slightly absent or extremely absent Bill Swale, depending upon how you want to look at it today. I am joined today on the air by one of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life, and I'm not just saying that because he's sitting in front of me with my back to an open window and a long drop. I'm seriously talking about Dr. Jim Meyer, a board-certified clinical nutritionist, master of science, doctor of pharmacy, and general guru of all things knowledgeable. I think we got a lot coming up in the next 2 hours. Hope you'll stick with us through most of that. We're going to be talking a little bit later this hour to Nurse Betty. Nurse Betty will be talking to us a little bit about Obamacare. That's going to be an interesting interview, by the way. This is a true Austin tradition of just kind of general weirdness. We're kind of looking forward to that, actually. So I'm wondering why I'm feeling a little light in the wallet right now. It might have something to do with I wasn't quite clear on what was going on with Obamacare. And I got to admit, I've been keeping my, nose to the grindstone. I'm worried about cholesterol and other things. So haven't been keeping track of this. Thankfully, we have somebody coming on the air who may be able to explain this. I've heard that they are an expert in the upcoming changes in Obamacare, and I want to get her take on this. We have Nurse Betty on the line.
Well, hello. How are y'all doing today? Boy, I was excited listening to all about the brain frog. I sure do want one. That sounds interesting.
Well, I've heard a lot of people croak from it, so watch out for that.
Now you're going somewhere. I like you already.
Now, I've heard that you are an expert on Obamacare and what's going on there. Can you explain to me exactly what the changes are that's coming up?
Oh, no, because it's only about the size. Well, if you think about it, it's twice as big as the Bible. And it's just being written right now. So I'm going to tell you what, there is a lot of information in there, but it is going to be a complete change, I'm telling you, for the employer and for all of us employees out there looking for health benefits.
The major difference is the Bible has actually been read.
Well, that's right. And, of course, there's no opinions about either one of those things. But anyway.
No.
Ooh, but it's going to be a dramatic change. We're visiting with small businesses, explaining to them that everything as we know it will be changing on January the 14th. Businesses will do things completely different when they're providing benefits to their employees. And a lot of people want to talk about a lot of things like the fine. Right, and that's what everybody wants to talk about. I mean, the penalty. No, it's a tax. That's what it is, right?
That's what the Supreme Court says. So.
Yes, it is a tax. Well, what most people don't talk about is all of the subsidies. My goodness, there is enough subsidies out there. Now, where that money is coming from, I don't know. But most individuals, roughly 68% of the population of those individuals that don't have access to affordable health care, i.e. a group plan, will actually be able to get subsidies from the government to help pay for their health insurance. Now, a lot of people don't even talk about that. Were you aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
Yes.
So if I'm not aware about that, how am I going to find out about it?
Well, unfortunately, like you spoke, we have to not only write the bill, we have to read it, and some of these things have not been written yet. So, obviously in Texas, Governor Rick Perry wrote a very lovely letter to the Secretary of Health and Human Services that said we would not do a state exchange here, and we're going to have to use the federal government one. But they're not quite done with that. So what I'm telling people is when we know, we'll let you know. So there's still a lot of information that's not available, unfortunately. But we do know that these exchanges are supposed to be up and running by October the 1st.
Okay, so if you're a small business owner out there and you're caught between a rock and a hard place, you're just trying to make ends meet right now, and you want to learn a little bit more about what you're going to be required to do come October.
Yes. Now, we do have basic information. You can go to our website, funnyhealthcare.com, and we are beginning to put the pieces together of what we do know. Now we do know that, just like you said earlier, based upon all the information we have, health insurance premiums will be going up. And, of course, if you have less than 50 employees, then you are not required to provide benefits to your employees without any type of a fine or penalty. So we're still working on that. Go ahead.
Now, that's 50 full-time employees, right?
Yes, and it gets even more complicated because there's a thing called full-time equivalent as well. Now, I don't even want to go in that because that's a math thing and I get a headache. And that's where I get the brain frog when that happens, and I don't want to do that. What we do know is that there's going to be a lot of people, you don't hear about this, but they call it a defined contribution, where the employees will simply be able to be given money in a pre-tax way that they can go buy their own health insurance, and they can actually go to these exchanges and use that money instead of the traditional group plans that we have now. So that will be an option for a lot of folks.
Okay, so basically, if you're an employer who's kind of who's trying to get this sorted out, because I mean I'm listening to you and I can hear my brain frog starting to chirp.
I know.
Yes,
and it's so fine. I chirp all the time. People wonder about me, and it is. So it's all right. I just tell people to breathe, and we have to go a little bit at a time.
Okay, so if they want to go a little bit at a time, now I know that you got this website, funnyhealthcare.com. And you explain all this for both individuals and providers?
Yes, right now, because we do have limited information for the employees, we're focusing on what we do know for the employers. And so
tell me you're using really small words, please.
Yes, we have, there's a thing called benefits bewilderment, which a lot of people talk in insurance terms, and they look at you like a cow looking at a new gate. So we don't do that. We are simple, stupid, in case you couldn't figure that out. So we believe the simpler the better, and that's what we focus on. And so, matter of fact, we have a workshop we called Obamacare Made Easy. So it's a place to get started. We try to help people. In a perfect world, what I'd be doing right now is teaching people how to live happier, healthier lives, but we got this big thing going on now, so that's what we spend most of our time doing.
We probably should have sent a copy of that to Congress.
Yeah, good luck with that. I tell you what, here's what everybody ought to do.
All right.
Now listen to me. Like I'm your mother, listen to me. Well, I want you to, if you go to the Obama chart or the Affordable Health Care chart on Google, and you Google under images, there's a chart, and it shows you what the Affordable Health Care Act looks like. And that ought to be enough to scare most individuals right there.
How many trees died in the production of that? No.
Well, luckily, it's just an image. It's an image. That's all it is. Now, just relax. It's an image.
Yeah, there's a lot of images out there, but it's like seeing my great aunt naked for the first time.
That's
okay, there's
right.
a lot of images you just can't get out of your head.
That's right. Some of them are false images. Some of them you wish were negative images.
The ones that wake you up at 3 a.m. and you can't get back to sleep.
Okay, well, but
yes.
the advantage is a lot of the stuff on your site. These are actually videos for a lot of people.
Yes.
So if you're getting the brain frog and you can't read another word, this actually kind of guides you through it. In I can sit there and watch and at least get a chuckle out of it while I'm trying to.
Yes, let's face it. Health insurance and health care is kind of like a gravel enema. You don't want to do it once, much less twice.
Oof.
And so it's painful, it's not pretty, and so if you have to do it, and a lot of us are going to have to do it, let's try to make it as enjoyable and as peaceful as possible. And of course, when you use humor, people tend to remember things a little bit better. I don't need another fat bald guy telling me what a deductible is or a copay. It just gets a little confusing after a while. So we try to make it as, simple and as easy as possible. And I got lots of friends. I got my cousin, Insurance Dick Weed. He's really good, and he explains a lot of things, too. And then there's Dale, who knows everything about drugs. but not near as much as y'all do.
Yeah, well, the difference is ours may be more academic. Dale's may be a little bit more hands-on.
Yes.
So, so okay. Basically, if y'all haven't figured this out, folks, I mean, whether, like it or hate it, Obamacare is here. It is something we're all going to have to deal with, and nobody understands it. And one of the great advantages we have of this website, Nurse Betty will explain to you at funnyhealthcare.com. And in all truthfulness, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who have small businesses that are trying to figure out what to do with this. Like it or not, either side of the aisle, nobody knows exactly what to do. It's nice to have somebody that at least can put a tongue-in-cheek approach to this and give you an idea of how to start dealing with it.
Yes, and now what I would say is, yes, it is very serious, no doubt about that, and there are some good things out there. As I tell people, if you're a small employer and you have less than 50 full-time employees, there is good news. You're going to like this. I don't have as much good information for those people that have 51 or more employees, but the small businesses, actually for once, the government will actually help their employees buy the insurance through the exchanges. So there's some good news. You just got to kind of get out there and do some search. And quite frankly, a lot of the current providers of insurance for group, it's a little scary for us because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. And it's just one of those hard times for the average insurance agent out there right now.
Put on the hip waders and get going because
I know I had to put on my big pair of panties and my high heel shoes, and I'm out there.
Are we back to those mental images you never want to?
That's right. I keep going back to that brain frog.
Oh. Nurse Betty, thank you very much for being on.
Well, absolutely. I'm going to go back here and have some of my diet soda, and I'm going to drink some more of my. I've got my Crestor, my Lipitor, and I think I tore something else, and I'm mixing it up, and I'm making a smoothie.
Time to light that fire.
Ouch.
That's right.
Okay,
and I'll call y'all back here in about 15 minutes.
If you can remember who we are.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Nurse Betty, for those of you that want to learn.
Thank you for having me. Blessed day, and keep your nose up. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. We hold our hands and we go, yes.
I appreciate that, Nurse Betty. Keep the faith.
All right,
Bye-bye. That's funnyhealthcare.com for those of you that want to learn a little bit more Obamacare and keep a smile on your face while you do it. So while I pull out my mental Brillo pad and try to scrub that image out of my head for a little bit, number here, 390-1370. I'm Dr. Victor Cartridge, in today for the absent Bill Swale, owner and operator of People's, Austin's favorite pharmacy. Dr. Meyer and I will be back after these short messages. In the meantime, check us out on the web at peopleswellnesscenter.com.